Good afternoon. Oh my gosh, I had to check to see what time it was. I thought it was morning, but apparently it's 1:30 almost. So I just wanted to go live. I posted in our team group about this last night, and I just kind of wanted to share a little bit more and kind of go live and share a little bit more in depth of basically what I was trying to explain. And so do you ever feel, or do you ever feel like no matter how much you want to change your life and improve, you can't? Or that life is just working against you, that you're just not good enough, or that everything's just working against you. And these deceptive brain messages, aka these lies, are what are actually holding us back. So, but we can learn to relabel and reframe the content of those messages by learning to look at it rationally, which I tell everybody that I am an emotional psycho. And my hubs is not shy about telling people that. Like, he will tell you that to your face. He's not shy about any of that stuff. So if you struggle with being rational, which is what I do, that is where that desire that we were created with needing support comes into play. And I need others in my life to actually help me to think rationally when I'm clearly not, though I think I am. So if you struggle with that one, you're not alone. I am that person too. It's also why we try to hide that we need help, because we're conditioned to believe that we can do all of these things on our own. That's what society tells us, even though God says otherwise. But take an honest look back over your past. Like, how long were you truly successful doing things on your own? Like me, 3 to 5 days. Like, I was a giant fail. Like, we like to forget that the Bible itself says that two are better than one. Like, Ecclesiastes 4, chapter 4, verse 9 through 12 says, like, two people are better than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other person can reach out and help. But if somebody who falls alone, they're in real trouble. Likewise, two people lying together can keep each other warm, but how can one person keep themselves warm? So a person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two people stand back to back can conquer. Whereas three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. So we run from accountability because we're an adult. We want to do what we want to do, and we want to do when we want to do it. So not having accountability, it's not that we can't do something, it's that we don't want to do it. So for those that are new to following me, welcome. My name is Meg Rogers. I'm a health and wellness coach to just help those fellow sisters learn how to stop standing in their own way, how to overcome obstacles and just the roadblocks in their life, and just living a life that they're proud of and no longer living in that regret zone. So for those that are watching this or following, thank you for checking back in. If you're catching the replay, post below. But if you're here, hit your favorite icon, the like, heart, whatever your favorite icon is, just to let me know you're here, or drop a message. So back to the nerdy stuff. And if you don't know me, I really love the nerdy stuff. Because I feel like when we know how our brain is working, it gives us the tools to better overcome these obstacles that we're facing, that we're not defeated, that our inability to get moving isn't because we're weak or that we're lazy. It's just our mind trying to protect us. So how do we change that? Like, how do we become successful like those people that are inspiring us? Like, how did I go from being a couch potato, scrolling Facebook junkie, Netflix marathoner, binge eater, to getting results and then hitting the top 5% of our company? So, it was with support and with mindset training, which is what I help a lot of my ladies with when we're working together one-on-one. So it starts with one word, and it's called neuroplasticity. Like, what is that? Such a big word. I don't know what that means. And yes, I probably pronounced it wrong too, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong probably a lot in this video, so bear with me. But the Greek word for plasticity means formed or molded. So it sounds really intriguing, doesn't it? Like, what is this neuroplasticity? It means Greek, folded or more, or formed or molded. So, it includes any process that result in a change in the brain's structure, circuits, or chemical composition, or functions in response to the changes in the brain's environment. It is a property of the brain and best understood as a capacity or potential for the brain's area and circuits to take on new roles and functions. Now, that's the nerdy answer. So if you feel lost, don't get discouraged. You know, it really took me a while to fully grasp it. But on its own, neuroplasticity, it's neither good or bad. It is just simply a brain's mechanism that just helps us to adapt to our environment and just survive all of these changing conditions that are happening in our lives. But the real power is in the concept of self-directed neuroplasticity, because it gives us a say in what happens to us and in how our brain is wired so that it actually works for us instead of against us. So if you've been struggling with breaking bad habits, this is totally for you. So for those that are just hopping on, I asked if you tell yourself that you just can't do something, that you're just not good enough, that life is just working against you. So self-directed neuroplasticity is using the power of focus and attention along with the ability to apply commitment, hard work, and dedication to direct our choices and actions, therefore rewiring our brain to work for us and not against us. So the issue is in the absence of our goals and our values, and especially support. So neuroplasticity can either be a helper or it can really hinder us depending on how we are unconsciously choosing to act and draw and focus our attention. So I'm sure if you've witnessed before in your own life, left entirely to its own ways, the brain directs you to act in ways that are just not beneficial to you and to just give up on things. So for example, in my case, I use food to self-soothe. And it's in those deceptive brain messages or lying and saying that I'm unworthy and that I'm a failure. This is why I'm actively focusing attention on developing new habits, because those bad habits have been wired into my brain to stop me from moving forward in the direction that I really want to go. So when those deceptive brain messages are lying to us, then they're happening to us. They lead us to do unhealthy behaviors. And in my case, it was eating really bad, or overeating. So which then leads the neuroplasticity to work against us. So we struggle to rewire our brain in the way that we want. And all of our progress just seems like it's failing. And no matter what we do, we're just stuck. So, however, when we focus, hey Kelly, so when we focus our attention towards our goals, hey Bonnie, when we focus our attention towards our goals and just make the effort to continually put in the work towards our goals and be consistent, it is then that we are able to rewire the self-directed neuroplasticity that just helps us to change the rewiring of our brain. So the point is, every single day, every moment of our day, every choice that we make is affecting the wiring of our brain and how it is operating, because our brain, is always operating at all times. Like if it wasn't, we'd be dead. So if you are repeatedly engaging in some behaviors, even something as tiny as constantly, oh, don't worry about that. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Katie. So if you are, repeatedly engaging in some behavior, something as tiny as checking your email all the time, or scrolling Facebook every time you get a free second, and you're bored, or sharing Facebook posts and watching videos, your neuroplasticity does not take into mind that action is not the preferred action, and regardless. So if the effect of that behavior is hurting you or your life or your families, it doesn't know that. It just knows that you want to do that. So it's going to keep putting those urges into you. So in a real way, that the actions that you perform now, today, and how you focus your attention have downstream effects in how your brain is going to be wired and how you automatically respond to those lying messages that your brain is telling you in the events in the future. So for better or worse, focused attention just creates the brain you live with. So which is why we are constantly stressed that the power is in the focus of where your focus is. When we are constantly focusing our attention and being mindful in our habits and rejecting those lying messages, it helps us to rewire our brain to work for us instead of against us. So if you're constantly fearing something, it's always on your mind will actually start to make your fears your reality. And this was my reality. So you need to be focused on a goal. And sometimes you're going to have to create that tunnel vision to stay on that path. And when you focus on the lies, it gives that lie strength. And it just starts to wire your brain that this is the truth. This is what she truly believes. This is true, man. We have to focus on this. and it's going to keep driving those urges and everything towards those lies. And then comes in the bad habits to soothe it, and you just repeat this over and over, and it just becomes this vicious cycle. So willpower alone is not going to change your thoughts and your urges, which is what I struggled to grasp for years. I just thought I was weak and that people like me just never were going to amount to much. Like, this was just how my life was going to be the rest of my life. We all desire to feel better, but it's actually proven that strong desire to feel better without the effort put in actually needed to make it happen are going to make things worse. So, which is why a lot of people, sadly, are not going to reach their goals that they set for their life because they don't want to be uncomfortable. And in order to get to their goals, you're going to have to go through the uncomfortable and unpleasant things to get there. So basically, you have to embrace the suck. If you are not willing to go through the suck, you're not going to get to the good stuff. So, we get so wrapped up in our desires of everything being great and needing motivation. But here's the truth. You are going to be dead before you have motivation that lasts. I do not have motivation. I am about to work out after this video. I do not want to. I don't want to eat what I am supposed to eat today. I would really like to just stop and pick up a burger and fries as we head out about our day. But we have a crazy day, and one, I need to feel my best. Like, I can't feel tired and lethargic and like crap, and we can't leave the house until it's done. So there's no excuses. It's going to happen before we leave today. So instead, we have to learn how to set realistic expectations and working at it consistently daily. So for example, if your goal is to lose 50 pounds, hey, SC, if your goal is to lose 50 pounds and you are so severely overwhelmed about it and you just keep thinking of the daunting task ahead of you because, oh my gosh, that's a really long way to go. And that's where I'm at after baby. I had 50 pounds to go and I still got 25 more to go, and I'm still like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this anymore. And you just want to feel better, but you can't feel better. And then the more you try, you just feel depressed and you just feel stuck. Instead of focusing on the expectations to get there, focus on the expectations of what it's going to take to get there. Hey, Amanda, doing your best daily to nourish in the way that you need, taking it in one workout at a time, one snack at a time, one meal at a time, building off those every single day. They're building blocks. And when you focus on the things that are going to get you to where you want to be instead of the end result and just putting in that consistent effort every single day and having reasonable expectations, then you're able to move forward and change your brain. You get those unrealistic expectations coupled with the strong desires and urges that we have, and it causes us to act out in unhealthy ways as we're trying to receive that momentary relief from whatever we're feeling. But as we're giving into those momentary pleasures, we're engaging in actions that are not consistent with our long-term goals and values, which leads us to feeling worse about ourselves and the situation in the end, and telling our brain that this is what we truly want. So then our brain keeps pushing us to do this over and over. So desires are going to fail us. They can cause you to want things you can't have. They're going to leave you feeling sad. They're going to leave you feeling depressed. They're going to cause you to do things that are hurting you, they're going to create unrealistic expectations that are just not possible, such as you're going to diet and man, you are going to be perfect for 30 days straight. You are going to eat exactly how you're supposed to. You are not going to cheat. And you're going to eat foods you don't enjoy, and it's going to create misery. Like, you are going to give up everything that you love. And that's one of the biggest things that I tell people. If you give up everything that you love when you start with me, you are going to quit because you're going to be miserable. You cannot deprive yourself of every single thing and expect to be a success for life. Like, what we do is for life, not for lose 10 pounds and then go back to what we were doing and gain it all back and do it again. That's not how we work. We still treat ourselves. Desire and motivation fail to maintain that same level of effort when times get tough or situations become impossible. For example, when something is not happening as fast as you want it to, what does it do? It makes you want to quit. You don't want to do it anymore. Or it competes in overtaking your other cravings and urges, and your brain's like, dude, we have to eat this, man. We have to do this. Like, it'll make you feel better. So as you're battling those urges, instead, make a plan. Create some goals, a game plan to getting there, working on growing your mind. Find your biggest struggle. And this sounds crazy, I know, but find a book that's going to be focused on that struggle to help you begin to grow your mind so that you can smash the walls of the box that you are stuck in. Because if you're repeating the same thing over and over, expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. And guess what? You need a little help. And you know what? every single person you meet needs a little help. So get a book that is going to be designed specifically for whatever you are battling so hard right now. And if you don't know, message me. I am more than happy to help. Like, I am not shy about any of that stuff. But it is just so crucial. And I promise that, like, within the first week of you deciding, I'm going to do this, man, I'm going to go hardcore, I'm going to go all in, life is going to test you so hard, and you're going to think, man, I got to put it off. I just can't do it right now, man. Kids are back at school. Life is just way too busy. Don't wait for Monday to start, because that Monday is the worst day to start. Why? Because your mind, from the moment you say, I'm doing this, your mind, from that moment you do it, every single minute up until you start, your mind is going to decide to create a change to talk you out of doing it and tell you why you can't do it. And it's going to work against you so hard. If you don't believe me, go back through your past and get honest with yourself and think of all the times you were going to start but then got delayed. Why were you delayed? It wasn't because of your circumstances. It was because your mind had so much time to think about why you couldn't do it. You know, I talked to so many sisters that want to get started with me on Monday, and they've been telling me next week, next month, and this has been going on for over a year, and they are still stuck exactly where they don't want to be because they're waiting for the perfect time to start. And it's been a year. Like, they could have easily chipped away at so much if they just would have started. But don't make their mistakes. So start today. Yes, holiday weekend, start today. So what? If you need help, reach out. Our Fit Sister community is always open. But all right, I am off. I hope that y'all have an awesome weekend.